Cabin 13 Productions.
I'm such a loser, sweating God, I'm the worst.
Welcome back to the Chillcast, presented by the Woodsman Podcast. We're your hosts, Brent Murphy,
and Joey Rucker.
and let me tell you, man, we weren't expecting to do a whole other podcast segment,
No,
but I think this is definitely one that's gonna cook for sure.
I
So,
totally agree. It's nice to be back on Chillcast as well.
It is nice.
It hasn't
to be
been
back on the Chillcast.
terribly long since the last one, but I feel like we try very hard to keep the main show consistent, and so every now and again to just sit back, not have all the hot lights on you, be able to just kind of
be able
kick
to
it.
sit on a couch.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's just a very nice little thing.
It is, man. It is. This is exactly why I wanted to do it audio only to begin with. So
with
that
the
way I
main
didn't
show?
have to. So that way I didn't have to worry about how ugly I look on camera. But
You don't have to worry about that. I just gave up on people worrying about how ugly I am.
what do you mean, bro? You're a straight stud muffin, dog.
All right. Yeah, you can say what you want, but
Well, this week's episode, because it is a Chillcast, I guess we better say what we're gonna talk about at the beginning.
yeah,
Because
we still have little topics. We just don't really heavily
Yeah.
research them like we do on
so
Woodsman.
I would say favorite animated cartoons.
Yes,
Definitely has got to be a strong topic.
Oh, I agree. I feel like growing up. Now we're talking growing up, right? We're not.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Because that's the other
true,
thing.
that's true.
I could also go off on all of these adult shows like Rick and Morty, Family Guy that I just love profoundly. But I think growing up, a lot of us grew up watching the same kind of cartoons, and some of us didn't. I know you're gonna have definitely way more on your list that are unique.
Some of us being two people on mic.
Yeah, well, and all of chat, please, comment what shows you watched growing up.
Drop in the comment or poll or vote section that we decide to put up on our social medias, which we're getting better at.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What your favorite cartoons are, what your favorite animated shows when you were a child was, because I feel like we have some good ones. For sure.
I totally agree. Now, let's start with a question like this. What network were you primarily based on growing up?
Oh man, dude, I would have to say Nickelodeon, dude.
Ah, nice.
Because I know you were more of a Cartoon Network Disney kid.
Yeah.
For sure. But I feel like even at a young age, I was watching a lot of live action shows. Even if they were kid shows or even adult shows. I mean, we were talking off mic. I was talking about one of my favorite shows when I was young was the X-Files.
How young are we talking when
I was
Brent is watching X-Files?
I swear on my life, 5 to 6 years old.
Really?
Dude, because I had no TV restrictions when I was young. So I was just always watching whatever my parents had on.
Yeah.
Whatever, because I remember one of my earliest moments on watching horror movies was watching The Bride of Chucky when I was at least 6 to 7.
See, that's insane to me because I only watched Bride of Chucky or any of the Chucky movies when I went to college.
That's
for the first time. And now I'm a full hardcore fan. I've seen every Chucky film. I've seen all the I've seen the new Chucky show.
Yes, I haven't even seen the new Chucky show, so I don't even know what's up with that.
It's got its moments. It's still well, we're not here to talk about Chucky.
Well, didn't we watch? I mean, before we move on, didn't we watch the new Chucky movie?
But the
at the drive-in,
man, I've never been so let down.
Really?
Personally, okay, you know what? Let me rephrase my statement. I've never been so after the fact let down.
Okay, no,
I
that's
enjoyed
fair.
it when I saw it, but I also had not really opened my eyes to the original Chucky saga.
It was
then
drastically different
so
storyline wise.
And so
sure.
I don't know, the whole the toy is a robot AI kind of thing that kind of gains sentience. I was just like, this is just a children's Ultron, and I
Children's Ultron. That is perfect.
and so I didn't really mess with it, but it's okay. I don't know.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair.
As much as
because I mean, when I watched it, I had seen all of the Chucky movies besides maybe like the last two.
And you enjoyed it.
And I thought it was a good take. Like, I thought it was like, okay, if we're gonna modernize it,
Sure.
like, I think it was good. If you're gonna take out all of like because I mean, it's quote unquote like, I guess like what, like witchcraft or whatever,
Yeah.
or like dark like ritual
mhm.
type of thing. If you were gonna take all of that out and still make like a good horror movie, I think it was good. But do I prefer the originals? For sure,
Okay.
dude.
Well, then
like,
I can respect that then.
but I mean, like, it's weird because and we don't run off of an outline or a script or anything on the Chillcast, but like just straight off the dome, I was thinking about it and I was like, how much of what we used to grow up watching shaped what we are as individuals today?
Yeah, for sure. I wonder what examples you have from your shows compared to mine.
I got some, like, because I'm an overachiever, so like I wrote some stuff down.
Yeah, I came completely not prepared today. I was just like, Brent showed up to the studio today and was like, I wrote down like every one of my favorite shows. I was like, oh, I should have done the same thing.
Well, I mean, like, if we're looking at it, if we're looking at my list personally,
Sure.
I grew up watching, like I said, the X-Files. I grew up watching Ghost Adventures. I grew up
I don't
watching
even know what that
Taps,
is.
like Ghost Hunters, like
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff. But like when we go into like animated cartoons, the next thing was Danny Phantom,
See, this
Scooby Doo.
We
like-
should start with a Danny Phantom, right? Danny
Peak.
Phantom is such a peak children's show that
Like,
did not
peak.
get enough time.
It only got
on
like
air.
2 seasons.
Yeah, and it had so much potential. What's his name? Butch Hartman?
Yes.
The guy who made Fairly Odd Parents and various other Nickelodeon TV
He's
shows.
made so much.
He's
Like,
made a
if
lot of
you've
them.
looked at his, like, it's not a discography
Tough
because that's for
Puppy.
music, but like whatever his portfolio is for animated like writing and creation,
Yeah.
drastic. Like, it is
Mhm.
insane how much he's actually done for like the animation community.
Oh, he's a big name in the community, and I think he deserves every ounce of respect that he's earned. Like,
100%.
he's definitely now. Not to say every Nickelodeon show is a hit, but if we're talking Danny Phantom, dude, like everything about it, I think especially as boys growing up, at the ripe age of 10 or something.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
The idea of being this guy who could like transform into like a superhero but a ghost. I mean, it's just
it's all I ever wanted.
I never even I don't would it be safe to say you've never seen a concept quite like it?
No.
There's plenty of shows where people like transform or superheroize themselves,
but like your parents to be ghost hunters
yeah.
and to make a spirit boat, like, because the whole premise was that, like, his parents, like, things never worked. Like,
yeah, exactly.
ever. Like, they never worked the way they were supposed to. And imagine, like, he was like, what, a freshman in high school? He was like 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, like, imagine a 14-year-old who doesn't believe in anything his parents are doing. Like, he's like, my parents are losers.
Yeah.
Like, 100%
Yeah.
my parents are losers. They have no idea what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And bro walks into what's supposed to be like, oh, a portal to another dimension, essentially.
Yep.
Fixes it and then like gets zapped.
His molecules got all rearranged.
Yeah, dude. And we first realized he woke up. Like,
Dude.
no, like, and just turned into half ghost. Like, he just turned into a ghost. Like,
Bro, and
whenever he felt
also,
like it.
The transformation sequence is just
Was
so
so
simple
sick.
but so cool.
Like,
It's
it was
just
so
the
good.
whatever you would call the line coming through the half of his body and going like both upward and down. It's just so cool. Like I'm geeking out about it at 23 years old.
I'm out here about to watch the whole series right now. Just
That's
going to
be the problem with this episode. We're gonna unlock so many memories that we're just gonna like binge all of our old favorite shows.
100%. That's what I'm planning on doing tomorrow. Like that is what I'm planning on doing tomorrow. But it was just such a good show, dude.
I have a very particular question for you in regards to Danny Phantom. First though, because I'm just blanking, but I need it for my question. What's the name of the girlfriend?
Sam?
Sam, right? Okay.
Sam or Paulina?
Sam or Ember?
Oh.
What are you doing?
Buddy, I'm a musician at heart, bro. Ember got me, dude. Like
you gotta do Ember?
Like, dude, that song?
Yeah.
Like, Ember, will you remember? Dude, I'm so sorry for like people who are listening to this right now, but like, oh my gosh, dude, like that song, first of all, heat. Like straight fire.
Dude, we had a whole episode about creativity dying, right? Back in the day, every kids show had strangely great music.
100%,
really
dude.
Weirdly
like think of
good.
Lemonade Mouth.
Lemonade Mouth.
My
Lemonade
bad.
Mouth is an amazing example.
Like the whole soundtrack was gas, dude.
It's so fire. Dude.
I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Camp Rock, but I'm sorry, the Camp Rock like soundtrack, gas.
What like you know which one I've fallen back to with Camp Rock is that one that Nick Jonas sings. I can't remember if it's in the first or the second one, but it's the guitar.
Oh,
and he's singing it to the girl.
Music's
in my soul. Is that the one?
Yeah. That song, gas. That was probably my favorite song off of like there's 3 Camp Rocks.
Is there 3?
I think there's 3, dude, and I'm pretty sure that's still my favorite song off of all 3 soundtracks.
Don't you hate High School Musical though?
I do. I can't stand High School Musical, bro.
That doesn't make any sense.
Because it was cheesy, bro.
It's the exact here's the thing.
No. Camp Rock was terrible writing.
Same amount of cheesy. Have you looked at scenes from Camp Rock these days?
Have you listened to the music?
High School Musical had decent music too, not as good as Camp Rock.
Versus High School Musical. High School Musical had cheesy little like high school music. Like it just wasn't.
They were in high school, Brent.
They weren't. But I wasn't. It's not the same. Dude, nah. Like,
getting back on track because these are shorter episodes. Butch Hartman, right? We can't talk about Butch Hartman
Flame
without Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh,
I mean that's such a classic.
Channel Surfers, the movie. Oh my god,
I forgot about that.
It's like having to make the ultimatum between like your fairies that are the only thing that give you enjoyment in life versus like your family and everything.
Bro.
Like I probably would have chose the fairies.
Here comes the Crimson Chill.
Not the Nega chin, bro. Do you remember that fool? the all black suit and everything. Like, bro was supposed to be evil. Like, oh my gosh, dude, that was heat.
The song was called, by the way, the Nick Jonas one. It was called "Introducing Me."
Introducing Me.
Camp Rock 2.
Oh, okay, that was on 2.
That was on 2. So I don't know if it's the same song we were thinking.
I would have to re-listen. No, because music. Oh man, is it In My Soul? I'm pretty sure that's the name of the song. From the first soundtrack, the music's in my soul.
Yeah,
that song was fire, dude. Do you also remember on Disney Channel when they used to have Mambo Number 5, but it was like all of the Mickey Mouse stuff?
No, because here's the thing. If for anyone who
did you say no?
Here's the thing. For anyone who knows a little bit, and you got to be a real deep fan of my YouTube channel, so probably no one on this podcast.
No one who's listening to this right now.
But there was a video I did on my Pie Master J YouTube channel where I was doing Would You Rather, just the online game, and one of them was like, would you rather listen for the rest of your life in your head constantly on repeat, like some random, like, I don't know, famous song at the time, or Mambo Number 5. And when I read it out loud, I had never realized what that song was. And when I read it, I was like, what's Mambo number 5?
Stop it right now,
the
dude.
amount of hate comments I got.
Because Mambo number 5 was iconic,
I don't
dude.
remember it, but the thing is, it's one of those songs that even if you don't, at least I would consider it to be one of those ones. If you never heard it in your life, the moment you hear it, you feel like you've heard it for years. It's one of those kinds of
fair.
songs.
That's valid.
I don't know
valid.
if you would. Yeah, you agree?
What about you, Eric? Have you heard Mambo number 5 and or do you not like it? I know I
don't know if I
phrase
could
that
say
better,
I like it, but it's a bop.
Dude, yes, a bop, 100%.
But I don't know if I
dude.
could say I completely like it. That's
just one of those, like, if I hear Pitbull, it doesn't matter what song it is. Like, I'm going crazy, dude. Like,
sure, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Eric liked it too.
When it was popular.
When it was popular. Okay.
I don't even think I could.
I could
recall
not
any of
pinpoint any lyrics of that
this
song.
Is Mambo number 5.
It's about him having multiple women.
Aren't
Oh,
all songs
really?
about that these days?
I mean, that's like every song. That's every song, I guess.
A little bit of Monica on my side, a little bit of Tara in the sky.
Oh,
I heard-
wow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess Mambo number 5 is just about a player, bro.
I heard there's an underlined
What?
meaning to that one that got famous from Deadpool recently.
Oh, bye.
No. From Madonna.
Oh.
The
Man.
end song. What is that?
I know what song it is. I cannot think of like the name of
I've
it
literally
right now.
heard it on repeat on my socials for weeks now, and now I can't remember it. But whatever. Back on track. Let's get back.
Yeah,
so Timmy
sorry.
Turner, right?
Okay, Timmy
Great
Turner.
show, fantastic, great storyline.
First of all, really good like creation because I never to this day I don't think there has been anything that has been such an original storyline as far as like a kid is miserable. So to make up for that, he gets fairies that no one can see that
they
can grant
hide
him
a lot
wishes.
of it in humor, but like he really did, like a babysitter who treated him like crap, parents who were just not involved.
Exactly.
Like it was a real like, and that's what I'm saying about old shows. They had really good underlying stories that were really well thought out. You know, like
yeah.
well written, well rounded.
And when you come to old TV shows that got meaning. After Scooby-Doo, I mean, like, my list changes. After Scooby-Doo, we got to go with Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yes, did we talk about this? We talked about this a little bit on the Lost episode recently, but so you guys don't know this. So let's just recap for a second here.
Yes.
One of the best written shows of all time.
Still, like,
best fight sequences with him and Ozai.
Even out of live action, I still think it's one of the best written and produced shows I've ever watched.
Absolutely. The cartoon, like, as a written show and a choreographed show, even though it's animated.
The fight choreography is just
so
unmatched.
Beautiful compared to, like, even live action, like, Hollywood blockbuster movies.
100%. Like, 100%, dude. Like, I think... so many people look past, I think, animated shows, especially with choreography and everything, because there's so much, like, manga that is being turned into anime.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of that, you know, like, I mean, are the fight scenes, like, really cool? Yeah, for sure. But, like, for Avatar to be, like, an American-made, essential, like, manga.
Yeah.
Being put out on TV. For, like, a lot of kids, like, who didn't even really know anything about anime. I mean, like, the most you're gonna get is, like, Dragon Ball Z, maybe early episodes of Naruto, Shippuden, and stuff like that. But other than that, I feel like there was really no American, like, dubbed or American-made animes that were just doing it. Like,
and not the way they did it. I mean,
not at all.
Like, there could be a few examples that we just can't think of, but the way that the writers and animators of Avatar: The Last Airbender made it was groundbreaking.
Yeah. No, dude, I mean, you think of the Zuko versus Azula fight scene in season 3.
Gosh, yes.
You think of like pulling heartstrings of like the episode of Zuko alone in season 2, where it's like you see this person who is literally supposed to be made out as the villain.
Yeah.
And seeing everything that this man has to go through. Not even that, but you see Zuko and Iroh as a refugee, and how like being a refugee has actually affected them weight-wise,
Iroh as a
skin-wise, like
is one of the most complex characters in history.
Yeah.
Like in the sense of like
someone we all want to be.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's another one that hits as hard as him in that exact regard.
It's
like,
one of those like if you could grow up to be anybody, who would you be? I would want to be like Iroh.
Yeah.
Someone
Absolutely.
who's open-minded, someone who like genuinely cares about people, tries to see all sides of the story,
Yep.
like someone who cares about nature, someone who cares about just, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You could go on forever about just this like not the simplicity, but like the complexness of just Iroh's character in general.
Yeah, dude.
So it's like,
and again, they also talk about tragedy too in that show, just like the way
it's literally set up in 100-year war.
In 100-year war, Iroh losing his son, the abuse of Ozai to Zuko, like the trauma,
the
his
complexities
mom
of like
being...
losing your mom and not even knowing if your mom's still
it's
alive,
so
like oh
good.
my. And then not to mention Aang, like we sometimes skip over like Aang's tragic story. Like imagine being 12 years old when every other avatar learns of the avatar in their late teenage years.
Well, yeah.
And then like, oh hey, by the way, a war is starting, so we need you to pick it up and learn all these elements,
he runs
and run away.
Freezes for over 100 years. Imagine the psychological trauma of waking back up and all your people are dead.
Not even that, but like waking up and knowing it's your fault.
Yeah, dude. Like
I think they somehow like glance past the fact that like if Aang would have never ran away, this war probably wouldn't have happened. Period.
Yeah.
Like it's just so...
Roku was the avatar before him.
Yes, sir. Yes,
he also
sir.
was a great character. He didn't get like as much attention, but he was
dude.
For his little time on the show, he was such an important influence.
When it's like there was some pretty good like season 2 Roku, season 1 Roku, but like season 3 Roku, like the Avatar and the Fire Lord episode.
Oh my gosh.
Like oh my gosh, having like, first of all, plot twist wise, imagine having your uncle that you essentially sent to prison yourself send you a note saying you need to learn about your past, and you read all of these scrolls about like Fire Lord Sozin and Avatar Roku beefing it out.
Yep.
All this stuff, having all these difference of opinions and everything, agreeing more or less with both of them, and then realizing like, I'll never forget that end sentence that came from Iroh where Zuko came back to his prison. He's like, why would you even send me all this? What was the whole point of this? I already know about the war that Sozin started. And he's like, Zuko, what you need to realize was Sozin was your grandfather on your dad's side, but Roku was your grandfather on your mom's side. Like, dude,
soul reveal,
what?
like it's so complex. It's so well thought out. Oh my god, dude. I don't know if you grew up on this show, but do you want to know what by far to me has the most complex story of all time?
Lay it on me.
Gravity Falls.
I never watched a single episode of Gravity Falls.
Dude, okay, we have got to watch it because it really is, in the beginning, just this like very classic Disney like child show where it's like every episode's got its own premise, but then there's these little moments, very, very little, where something odd happens. And you're like, what was that? Like it didn't fit with any of the plot. It didn't like match anything going on. And you're like, what, why? And the whole show is based around a mystery because the main character finds a book in like a tree. And the book basically lists out all these mythological creatures that are within the woods. And he basically, the whole show is about basically him going on different adventures every episode, discovering more of these creatures, right?
Interesting.
But you basically, the whole mystery, I don't want to spoil it for you because if we are going to watch it one day, you have got to like watch it for yourself. But the whole mystery is like figuring out like, oh, who wrote the book? Why is there a book in the first place? And there's like insane entities that like literally go beyond time and space, and like it's one of the weirdest shows, but it is so complex that literally to this day there is a book that came out. I won't name the book because it kind of is about a character that's important to the show that you wouldn't know yet, but a book just came out recently from the main guy who wrote and voice acted in a lot of the episodes, which is basically just this mystery book with a whole bunch of lore and like unanswered secrets that people have wanted to know for years. But there's a whole mystery where you have to connect all these puzzles in the book and do your own research. And then you basically find out that there's potentially going to be a new season, maybe not, but like you had to get the book to know it. It's just crazy. I really do think you should try Gravity Falls out one day because it's
So is it essentially a show about people discovering cryptids?
In a way, but it's not cryptids. There's a lot to what the creatures are and why they are. But yeah, it could be seen as that. It's about a kid and his sister who go around and discover all these things and then figure out why they're discovering all these things.
All right. I mean,
and it's all about family in the
family.
in the end.
No. I mean, I'm always down to watch a new show for sure. I actually don't have it on my list, but another one around that era. Ben 10,
dude.
Another one that has probably shaped my love of aliens and all things weird. It's literally a show where a bro can morph into 10 different aliens plus.
I have two opinions. One that I did not expect to actually have that I will say for the first time on the podcast. But to start with the one I've always had, Ben 10, obviously one of the best shows for kids. All around.
Easy.
A 10-year-old kid finding an alien watch that can transform his body into 10 random creatures from space. And then you have the whole mystery of like
where did it come from? Who's coming after you? Who sent the watch down to Earth?
Grandpa has a weird history behind the whole thing.
He's literally essentially a man in black.
It's literally that, and it's like so convoluted and weird and fun,
and that bro knows about like what's happening, but is trying to act like he has no idea what's going on. Like,
I'm not going to go off on a tangent again, but that vibe about Grandpa knowing everything when you don't realize he does, that's why you'll love Gravity Falls.
Okay,
that vibe.
Okay.
Just so you know,
that's fair.
You want to hear a take that I don't think I've ever thought about, but I have had recently about Ben 10? It falls off. And hold on, not by the newer age shows that do obviously suck. Like Omniverse and the new reboot. It falls off.
It ends at a terrible moment, first of all.
Oh, we
get Ditto and then that's it?
Well, technically, no. That's the weird thing that a lot of people don't take into account. It's Ben 10, Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, Omniverse, and then the reboot.
Yeah.
Omniverse is technically part of the same canon as the original show. Like, it's just later on and animated differently. So a lot of people think...
So do you see when he gets the watch taken off of him and everything that they talk about in Alien Force?
I mean...
Because they grow up and then, like, the whole argument with him and Gwen is, like, you know how long it took to get it off the first time?
No,
but you're like, what are you talking
unfortunately, we
about?
don't. He just gets another upgrade for the watch, which makes it sleeker and white.
Nah, that's whack.
But... No, but I've thought about this a lot because I was actually binging it almost a year ago with my brother because he had never seen it, and I wanted to introduce him to it, and so we go through the whole original show. 10 out of 10. We get to Alien Force for a long time.
Honestly, that was like an 8.5 out of 10. I feel like that was a really good one, too.
It was really good. Wasn't perfect. It was a little slow in moments. But I really liked the character development with him and Kevin because when they were kids...
They're best friends now.
They're best friends now. It's great. But then Ultimate Alien comes out, and honestly, I think I'd give it a 6 out of 10, personally, after rewatching some of it, because it's good, and it has some faithful moments, but it's just getting to that point where you've seen the same 3 characters, the same set of villains, and it's all the same plot lines, kind of going into what we talked about in our creativity episode. After a while, you should just know when to stop, and shows like that should stop.
That's fair.
but they didn't. And then they go on, and he kind of breaks the watch or something, and that's why he gets a new one. Not a new one, but like the one that gets fixed, and that's why Omniverse, the show, starts. And then obviously they rebooted it into one of the most trash shows I've ever seen, where they reboot the original 10-year-old show.
Why is the animation so bad compared
don't
to
know
the
why.
first one, dude? Like,
A
I
lot
just
of
don't
shows are
get it.
doing this thing now for children, giving it a more sleek and like
It's basic.
what's the word? Yeah,
Like, it's
basic.
like a basic animation. I'm just like,
And I
why
don't
when
know
you were
why
making something so
people
good?
prefer it, or why people think that kids wanted that. Because one thing I think we mentioned in some recent episode, maybe it was because we were talking about Avatar in the last episode, children are not idiots. Children are so smart, and they can appreciate well-rounded and well-looking stories,
We're making them
dumber.
dumb. Like, we,
Yeah.
like, we are giving them, like, basic, and we're telling them that that's peak.
Yeah.
When it's like, dude,
And
just
it's
watch
not.
some of these shows, like, from the early 2000s, and you will be, like, Total Drama Island.
Oh, dude, I love
First of all, Total Drama,
Total Drama
Fire,
Island.
and hot take, 16. Did you ever watch 16?
16.
That was from the same creators and voice actors from Total Drama.
Really? No, I don't think I watched 16.
It was another Canadian show.
Was it okay? Was it kind of like about like four friends or something in like a mall?
Yes,
Or something?
yes.
Oh my god! You
Hot
unlocked
take.
such a weird memory, dude.
So the guy who plays like the main like the game show host in Total Drama, he was the
Chris
guy.
McClain, yeah.
Yeah, he's Chris McClain. You get it. The original voice actor was the guy who played Jude, the blonde guy, the skateboarder in 16. That was him.
what?
Yes.
Dude, that's so nuts.
I loved 16,
You
dude.
have literally unlocked a weird memory.
I mean, like, around that time, though. I mean, like, because there were a lot of shows that I feel like us as, like, kids were watching around that time. Because I was watching the original 94 the 94 Spider-Man animated series.
Was this
Spider-Man
Oh,
versus Venom.
You're talking the OG one. OG.
Yes, yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
good one. The one where Peter
Oh, yeah.
Parker was, like, too buff
To
be, like-
yeah.
to be a high schooler.
The
was
one that
too
never
big.
got a proper ending. Do you remember how it
Yes.
ended? Where like they were like, well, let's go find your Mary Jane, and then it's like, and then credits
But-
roll and no
But
new
you
season.
got so much cool stuff. Like, you got to see Mephisto. You got to see
you
Madam
saw
Web. You got to see
everything.
the whole
Yeah.
thing with Venom and Oh my gosh, my favorite Carnage was the 94 animated series
Really?
Carnage, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Skinny, literally dripping because, like, in the comics, he's supposed to be dripping blood. Like, oh, dude. Yeah, that was my dog.
There were a lot of Marvel shows back in the day that are kind of a lot of times overlooked, but I feel like hit hard, like the Teenage Iron Man show. The
one with the weird 3D animation
yeah,
one.
dude, I loved that show.
Oh my gosh, bro. With Racer X. It was supposed to-
Yeah, dude.
like, oh no, I can't believe I didn't figure out that was his brother.
Oh
That's
my god,
crazy.
you know what my favorite?
Well, I mean, the live action one, it was like, how you gonna tell me that's not his brother? But like
Yeah.
the animated one had no idea until they said it. I was like,
Mhm.
whoa. I was like, whoa.
Do you want to know what my favorite Marvel show?
I'm sorry, that I'm talking about Speed Racer,
No,
but it's
no.
like it's the same animation
No,
as
I
the
get you,
Teenage
I get
Iron
you.
Man one. Yeah.
Did you ever watch X-Men Evolution? I think is the one that I like the most.
I believe I did because it was around that same time.
It
It was that
was-
same type of.
It was basically like where the X-Men were all high schoolers, same kind of vibe,
Yes,
and they were all in
yes.
high school. And
That
that was
one-
like my favorite rogue.
That one was heat.
because
Oh,
I fell in love
yeah,
with that rogue.
Yeah, that rogue was the best rogue, 100%. First of all,
have
can
to
we
look
talk
it up.
about the fact that like the animation when we were kids for girls drastically different than the animation we got for girls now? Like that
Dog,
probably
I'm-
shaped my whole like
I'm
understanding
looking at
of
Rogue
women
right now, and I'm
like
just
how I
like, yeah,
felt
I'm
about-
still in love.
Yeah.
After all these years,
yeah, that's the one, dude. That
that's
is
the one.
literally the one right there.
Um,
And same thing with Teen Titans with
Teen Titans was such a good show,
Yeah.
dude. Oh my god.
Yes, dude. Like it is crazy. Like how much they shaped my perception of everything. like
Beast
everything.
Boy, and watching his character development in that show was one of my favorites. I also love the one. There was a movie or like a TV special. Do you remember the one where there was like an ink monster or something, and it was in like Japan or something?
Oh,
That was like the
yes.
peak of Teen Titans to me, and I was like, oh my god, I would watch that on VHS
Yeah,
all
dude,
the time,
bro,
dude.
hot take. I had the Spider-Man versus Venom just like
On VHS,
by itself on VHS.
dude.
Like
I
nothing
miss
else
VHS.
from that, like nothing
I-
else from the 94 series, just that.
There was something about like popping in the VHS into the slot and just having it
Having to rewind it because you would never
Oh
rewind
my
it after you
God,
watched it the first
dude,
time.
Yes. Oh man.
Dude, you wanna know what's crazy? Hot take. So my grandma had bought me that. And at her house, she had one of those big TVs that had like the speakers built into it, but it was like wood.
Uh-huh.
Like, and you would literally use it as like like a mantle that you would like over the fireplace, but it was literally
Oh,
the TV type.
Dude.
Dude, I used to watch it on that, bro.
Bro, I used to watch my VHS movies and shows on a real
Was it the big
small
TV with the I was gonna
real
say the big
small
TV
little
with the big old
thing.
back.
TV wasn't that impressive, but what made it special was we would watch them when we would go camping in my trailer. And I don't have the trailer anymore. We stopped trailer camping a long time ago. But man, and you know what's crazy?
Was
To
that when you
this
guys had the
day-
boat?
Yeah, back in the day
Oh
when
my
we had the
gosh,
boat.
dude, that's so sick.
One of the most core memories of my entire life in the trailer was that there was this one camp that we went to where if you plugged in the right cable to this outlet they had, and this was like a tenting camp, but some of the spots had this little outlet.
Yeah,
And if you
yeah.
plugged it in right,
Where you could
you
like
could
plug
get
in water
cable.
and everything too if you had like
Yeah,
an RV or
exactly.
something. Yeah.
but they offered cable, dude. And so we got into the trailer, and all my family's going to bed. I just turn on the TV to like watch whatever shows I could get signal on. Happened to get signal on Cartoon Network, and it promoted this thing where it was like, all right, for the first time in like Cartoon Network history, we're gonna do a Ben 10 movie or like show marathon
No
that's going to last
way.
all night long. And I was like, I'm in.
I'm watching the whole thing
And I swear
right
to
now.
God, I also remember it as the first time in my life. Now, I can't prove this, but I remember it as the first time in my life staying up all night without falling asleep because I just remember I was in it. I was
You were like, I
watching
have to
every
watch
episode.
the whole thing. The
It
whole
was
thing.
it's one of my most fond memory. I love
Do you
old
remember
shows,
that
dude.
first Ben 10 movie? The one where the Omnitrix
Which-
broke and it was about to
yes,
self-destruct. You
dude.
find
Cinema.
what was his name, bro? Was it
The Diamond Head guy? Or
no,
who?
the original
Azimuth.
Azimuth. Well, I mean the original Diamond Head was pretty sick too.
He
You
was-
saw
he-
Ben in the future and his like was like
Yeah.
Ben 10,000 or
Ben
something like that.
10,000, dude. Oh
Like,
my god.
Oh, dude, I always remembered the hoverboard and thinking like I needed that so bad,
Bro,
bro.
the
A
hoverboard
little
was-
disc where you just press the button and
I
like,
remember
shoots
when
out,
Ben
like, the board.
10,000 had the Omnitrix, but it took up like his entire arm.
Yes.
And I was just like, this is what I need.
It's like I need it. I need it, dude. I need everything about it. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, for going back a little bit farther,
okay.
y'all
okay.
remember Dragon Tales and Caillou? And
Oof.
Lil Bill?
See, okay. I'm gonna be honest.
That was PBS.
Caillou
Yeah.
and no. Okay, I
I
hated
mean,
I
Caillou
hated
shouldn't
Caillou.
have been bald for like a 6-year-old, right?
We don't know his backstory. Maybe he was sick.
like
Like sick. Yeah, like let's call somebody about
like
this.
right before chemo, sick.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, Little Bill I liked and enjoyed, but I remember when it would come on, I would turn on anything else.
Lil Bill. This is Bill
Max and
Cosby, man. That
Ruby.
didn't.
Did you ever watch Max and Ruby?
Did you rabbits?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
dude.
my god, dude. This literally feels like the most child-ish I've been in so long.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna keep going off of those, we got Foster's Home and Regular Show.
Foster's Home, dude.
Foster's Home for
See,
Imaginary
Regular Show and
Friends.
Adventure Time are getting a bit farther down the line where it was just like it was still
See,
genuinely
I didn't
good.
really watch Adventure
I
Time.
know, and you
I'm
missed out.
sorry.
You missed out on such a good tragic tale, and it was so good that they just put out that new show for the Fiona and Cake special. It was also very good. Whatever. But yes, Foster's
alright.
Home was fun.
I like Lemonhead.
Lemonhead.
Or like Lemon.
Whatever. Are you talking about the?
Oh no! Like that guy, or like whatever his name
What?
is. Or dude, you know who I'm talking about, right, Eric? Yeah, from Adventure Time.
Oh, the lemon character. Okay, I thought you were
Is
talking
it
about
Lemon
another
Drop
show.
or like something
It's
like
lemon
that? Or
lemon grab.
Lemon Grab. Ah, man. See,
Yeah.
that just shows how much I don't know.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
That guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was good. You know what show sucked?
Which one?
Chowder.
I couldn't stand Chowder. Dude. I mean, I like Schnitzel because bro would just be like, water. Yeah. I like that guy. I like that guy.
We're getting mixed emotions
Eric's
from
sad
Eric
right now. Eric's really sad right now.
I could
our
watch
tech
it. That was
guys
the weird
just-
thing about Chowder. I would watch it whenever it was on, which is weird because I don't like it. But it was just one of those shows that when it was on, I had to watch it. But looking back at it now, I can't.
I mean, if we're going off of shows that were like borderline on the terrifying side.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. I hope. Go ahead.
I got two. One, Misadventures of Flapjack terrified me.
That show was terrifying.
That show
not,
is
not
so
the one I was
scary,
thinking
bro.
of, but
But I know which one
Horrifying.
you're thinking about, and it's gotta be Mr. Meaty is probably the worst
no,
one.
but that one is a nightmare.
that is literally nightmare fuel, bro. Like,
Yeah, that one's pure
like I will never get out of my head, like watching the tapeworm episode where Josh like ate the tapeworm.
I remember thinking they were
and, like-
actual nightmares of mine. I remember thinking as a kid,
and then you realized it was real.
I had to have dreamt that because there's no way that was a real show. And then it
Dude,
would come on, and I
it
was,
was so scary because it was essentially Drake and Josh, just like with weird marionette puppet things.
like,
And I would just never forget the tapeworm episode where bro ate the tapeworm and it was supposed to be the equivalent of Josh. And bro got the hot girl, like the quote unquote hot girl.
mm-hmm.
And then the other guy, who is essentially Drake, was like, nah. Like, there ain't no way. No way she chose me over him. And then bro went to eat like a hamburger or something, and it just would like vanish in thin air. And the guy who played Drake like hired someone who is, I guess, supposed to be like Steve Irwin to take like weird still frame like videos of him eating it, and you could just see the tapeworm coming out of his mouth and grabbing the food.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude,
It's
what about
horrifying.
this was a kid's show?
No, I it's so weird because I didn't watch it because it scared me. So a lot of I know what scene you're talking about because there is a weird little spark in my brainwaves.
Well, wasn't she an alien or something? Like, it was
Dude.
something so weird, dude.
I
Like,
don't know. Oh my god. Before I blow your mind with another show, the one that I was saying was scary was also Courage the Cowardly Dog.
that was literally the only other one I had on my list right now.
Courage
was so frightening. And, like, the animation was weird. And the premise was weird.
It was a
And,
very
like,
strange
everything
premise.
about it was just so creepy.
But a
dude.
lot like Chowder to me, it was just one of those shows that when it was on, you had to watch it. You had
Nah.
to get. I had to watch every episode of Courage when it came on.
You're crazy.
Now,
See, I was watching Cat Dog. I was
see,
like, you know
and
what?
I hated Cat Dog.
Real Cat
I
Dog was so
hated
funny,
it.
bro.
It
like,
was
what do you?
so boring.
Did you ever watch Chalk Zone?
No, I
You're
also
wild,
hated
bro.
Arnold.
Hey Arnold.
I hated that show. For
I
little
mean, I
football
just
head.
always remember that being on when I was like young. See, I mean, I always used to fall asleep to that 70s show. So like, but that's not even
bro,
like a.
I'm heavily disappointed in you. You forgot one for you, not even me.
Did I?
You forgot a show for you, and I only know
Clifford the Big Red Dog?
not later. Later than that.
Oh wait, can you give me a hint?
Male lead. It's a kid. Has the ability to transform.
The ability to transform.
Into a well, if I say that, into an animal, but not like a.
Was it El Tigre?
Mm-mm.
I mean, that one was fire. I don't know if you guys ever watched that. El Tigre Day was sick, dude.
American.
American Dragon: The Adventures of Jake Long, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god!
I can't believe you forgot that one. You
Dude,
have solemnly
I
throughout our
talk about
life,
that like all the time.
all
dude.
the time, dude.
I love American Dragon Jake Long. That was like another one of those that was just like so good writing wise.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's so crazy to know that the guy who voiced Zuko is Jake Long.
I know,
dude. Like that's
dude.
even crazier. Did you ever watch 3 Delivery?
I did not.
That was a Nickelodeon one.
Mm.
And I think it only ran for like 2 seasons. And that one was also a really good like I would say like an Asian American like anime type of show. And dude, fire. I would say like definitely like a 10 out of 10. Although I haven't watched it since I was a child, so it could be like really bad now.
6.5 out of 10, but I don't know anymore.
Realistically.
I think we could go on all day about some of these shows, and I literally just started looking up shows, like so I could like refresh my memory. And there's other ones we have not mentioned, like Kim Possible and stuff like Camp Laszlo, things like that. I think what we
Best Friends of the Teenage Robot. Or
Oh
whatever
yes,
it's called.
dude.
Like, My Life is a Teenage Robot.
Yeah.
That one was cool too.
I think it would be improper to not at least send off this episode with just a small reminiscing on probably the most iconic to everyone in the world. Not necessarily the best show.
Okay.
But SpongeBob. It's
yes.
not the best show out there. And of course, over the years, it's gotten very bad.
I mean, it was good
But-
seasons 1 through 5.
Exactly. And it was still one of the, like, it really set a lot of, kids ablaze when they were growing up and the
Dude,
wackiness.
I remember seeing the SpongeBob SquarePants movie in theaters.
Mm-hmm, same.
And I remember I cried so heavy when SpongeBob and Patrick, quote unquote, died.
Same, dude.
Like, I was like,
and all of a
like,
sudden,
dude, I was
it'd
so...
be the tear of the Goofy Goober.
It'd be the tear of the Goofy Goober.
It's one of the best shows.
I'm a Goofy Goober.
Yeah. It's one of the most quotable movies, too, of all time.
My name is David Hasselhoff.
You don't need a license to drive a sandwich.
It's Bickerboot. Dog, that movie was
Did you see
actually...
my underwear? No, Patrick. Did you want to? It's one of the you can't go
It
wrong.
was
with
actually
SpongeBob.
beautiful, dude. It
It
was
was a
like peak
moment in
cinema.
history,
It was
yeah.
peak cinema. I'll never forget seeing the movie and like the opening, like
The pirates or whatever.
Yes, dude, all the
It was-
pirates.
Where the SpongeBob movie opens up in live action, and you're like,
And you're
"What's
just
going
like,
on right
Did
now?"
I walk into the wrong movie right now? Like what? I didn't know this was Pirates of the Caribbean.
And all of a sudden, they just all started doing a SpongeBob SquarePants song in a sea shanty, and you're like, "This is the best moment of my life."
I didn't know I needed any of this until right now.
Yeah. SpongeBob by far is not the best show.
The fact
but
that Patchy
it
was
a
literally the creator.
yeah, dude.
Like, let's get that straight,
it
bro.
was a peak moment in I think almost every child's life, except for the very rare kid who is apparently a special demographic of a lot of kids, where kids weren't allowed to watch it.
Right?
You either were
Right?
addicted to SpongeBob for the first 4 seasons,
Oh, well,
or
my parents said I'm not allowed to watch this.
yeah, like what do you mean?
Like,
Well, it
it's-
has like bad morals or something in it, and I'm like the starfish and the sea sponge, like
The sea sponge who's gotten employee of the month for 52 months straight. Like,
yeah,
are
and
you
he's
crazy?
somehow also only a child. Like he's like how the somebody did the math. Did you
I
ever
gotta say,
figure-
bro just has to have something mentally wrong with him.
SpongeBob.
Yeah. He's got the mind of a child at like 65.
What the
dude.
scallops?
What the scallop? Mother!
I could list SpongeBob quotes from the SpongeBob.
I mean,
movie
the
for
panty
hours.
raid was pretty wild,
The
but like,
panty
you know,
raid was such a weird episode.
but they took it off, so it's fine.
Of course they took it off, because think about like the world nowadays. It's like, how did that get out?
Bro raided his own mom's closet
own
for her
mom's
panties, dog.
Like what?
Like, that's wild.
I even remember thinking that it was goofy or whatever as a kid, but I also remember thinking, they're breaking in and stealing women's underwear? Like, isn't that strange? Even as a child, I was like,
Really?
what?
I didn't even understand. I was just like,
Well,
funny.
they made it funny because it was like old women's trousers or whatever.
That
Because it
is
was his
true.
mom.
Like
But, like,
pantaloons.
Pantaloons.
Eugene. Mother.
Oh man, but yeah, we could go on all day, but I
I
think
could go on for like at least 3 more hours. if
I could too, dude. I could too. Breaking down the insane depth of characters and writing and storytelling of the early 2000s.
But unfortunately, this is the Chillcast,
And
which means it's time for us to leave
yes, sir.
right
Yes, sir.
now.
We appreciate you stopping by and giving us a little listen. As always, just like on the main show, please remember to rate, comment,
Like, subscribe.
subscribe on all podcast platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio. Apparently,
All of those bad
all
boys.
those bad boys. We're looking forward to this, and more than likely, we will see you in another regular showing of the Woodsman Podcast next week.
Heck yeah, dude.
We've been your hosts, Joey Rucker.
And Brent Murphy.
Later.
Here. The Woodsman Podcast is actively reading and responding to everything and anything on Instagram and our email. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the show, or would like to possibly be on the show, you can email us at thewoodsmanpod@gmail.com. Make sure to keep up with all things Woodsman related on Instagram as well, at WoodsmanPod. Don't forget to rate, like, and subscribe to the Woodsman Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, with video exclusively on YouTube and Patreon. Make sure to follow our personal accounts at Strange Kids and Piemaster J on all platforms.
The Woodsman Podcast is co-produced by Brent Murphy and Joey Rucker.
Our technical producer and engineer is Eric Bessero at Elite Sound Studios, with additional engineering by Brent Murphy.
Video editing by Joey Rucker, and Blood, Sweat, and Tears by all of us.
Any additional content by the Woodsman Podcast may not be used without our permission. Copyright Cabin 13 Productions.